Hi everyone and welcome back to the RFD show. Today we are going to discuss the Tri-Nations or the Rugby Championship as we have known this competition for the last couple of years, and of course the Bledisloe Cup as well. Joining me on the other side is the Jackal, aka Jock. Jock, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good, and you?
Good, can't complain. I love this topic. I think this is going to be a very interesting topic because for the first time in I don't know how many years, if maybe ever, the Springboks isn't featuring in this Southern Hemisphere international competition, which I believe is a good thing for SA Rugby. What are your thoughts about that for South Africa not featuring in this competition this early?
I also think it's a good thing. I think because we've started so late with our domestic competition, I don't think the guys would have been ready to play for Springboks yet, and I don't think it's well, how do you say it? It's not gonna be a good picture for the Springbok brand if you take a team over to Australia and they just get annihilated by the All Blacks and all those other teams that have played like 2 or 3 months before we could have. So I think it's a good decision that we stayed out. I think it's going to be better for our domestic competition to keep the players here and just get back to form and just yeah, just get a bit harder after lockdown.
Yes, I agree with you there. I think, uh, yes, the fitness levels isn't up to par, and we mentioned it in another episode explaining about the Super Rugby Unlock competition, but it is not. It is not on the standard that we can compete against the likes and the overall dominant culture of the All Blacks. I mean, their
Yeah,
rugby is so good at the moment. I love watching them because they play phenomenal rugby. Anybody that watches the All Blacks in their first ever rugby match would think it's easy because they make it look easy. Um,
mm,
but let's jump into a bit of what has been said during this Bledisloe Cup tournament, between New Zealand and Australia, and then, of course, transitioning in to once again being called the Tri-Nations or the Rugby Championship, whatever you want to call it, with the three
mm,
teams of New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina. So let's go quickly into the Bledisloe Cup. The first meeting they had in New Zealand, Australia played very well and they tied the All Blacks 16-all. What do you think? What was your opinion about or your feeling about the competition? Seeing that Australia actually, you know, tied the All Blacks in their country at a home advantage, home ground advantage. Did you think at that stage Australia is gonna maybe do it this year?
yeah. I was quite surprised to see it was a draw, and yeah, at that stage, I thought maybe we've underestimated Australia. I mean, they have a new coach, they have a good team spirit, and all that stuff. But yeah, then we saw they fell a bit on the wayside. But yeah, in that first game, I thought maybe New Zealand just hadn't clicked yet as a team, or I don't know what happened. But yeah, I thought Australia's gonna show them a couple of things in a second and third game, but yeah, that was not the case. But yeah, hopefully Australia can get back to winning ways. I know the competition is the best or one of the best teams in the world. I could actually say the best team at the moment. So yeah, it's difficult for Australia. I think mentally wise, also very draining and difficult because they lose they have lost the couple of weeks. So um, yeah, I can't remember when last they've won this Bledisloe Cup. Maybe just see, but
If
I
I'm
think
not
that's also in the back of their minds.
if I'm not mistaken, it was 2002, wasn't it? It was
Let's
something.
fact
What
check.
was it,
Yeah,
2008. It's a long time ago. It's
Australia still
if
has not won the Bledisloe Cup since 2002.
boom,
18 years and
2002.
counting.
So
Yeah, we made a little joke just before. Oh, I made a little joke that Australia has what do you call it? It's a new Bledisloe for them. So
let us
I don't
low.
know what they can do to pick up what they missing at the moment.
Okay, so yes, so the first game, I was surprised, to be quite honest. I thought New Zealand's gonna beat them with 14-21 points, but
Yeah,
again, they surprised me very well. And let's just before we jump into the second and the third game. After that game, I don't know if you saw, if you were active in the news, reading up and so on. But just after that game, one of the best wingers of all time, David Campese, came out and said the aura of New Zealand is gone. Like the I don't know how to say it, like the atmosphere
yeah,
or the culture, the something, the aura. I think that's what is literally mentioned, is
yeah,
gone. Okay. And I remember when I read that, I thought by myself, you just spoke the beast. I thought to myself, you just did
yeah.
it. This is not going to end well, because I get what you're saying. I get what you are confident your team or your nation's team, like they drew in New Zealand, which is amazing. That's good. When we beat New Zealand a couple of years ago, we were all celebrating like we won the World Cup. Because the year prior we lost 57-0 or 50-73. I can't remember. It was astronomical. And the year after that, we beat them with 2 points, if I'm correct. Um, so I get what he was saying, but you can't say that. You don't say that because you don't want to offend them. You don't want to get them angry. You don't want to do that against New Zealand. Okay.
Mm.
What is your opinions about that? Did you think at that stage as well, like, oh, this is the turn? Like New Zealand's gonna struggle from year on out because they drew to Australia once in I don't know how many years.
How
Or
many
did
years?
you
Yeah.
think like, what are you doing, David? What are you doing?
I don't know if he got big-headed or something because it was a draw. Um, I don't feel you can call it a win if it's a draw.
No, you
I have
can't.
the article here. The reason why he said the aura is gone is because the younger guys are not composed and they're not the same type of players as the likes of the Kieran Reeds and Richie McCaws and Dan Carters, all those players. So um, really, the aura is still there. It's the All Blacks. I mean, was the aura ever gone? That's the thing. And he also said because Ian Foster is not the right choice for the coach, which I don't necessarily agree with. But yeah, I think it was early days for him to call it that. If it was the Bledisloe game number 4 or whatever, then some type of comment like this would have been more acceptable, if I can call it that. But I think, like you said, that I think he just poked the bear because you saw in the next two games what New Zealand actually came out and did. So, um, yeah, I don't think it's a fair comment to say that the All Blacks aura is gone.
I completely agree with you. I think, I wanted you to just use your statement for the question of the day. So this is going to be different than our other episodes. I'm going to throw the question of the day out to here in the middle. Was the aura ever gone? Was the
Mm,
culture ever broken in New Zealand rugby in the last decade? I mentioned this a couple of times to Daniel, and for those who've been listening to us for the last couple of months, we really appreciate you and want to thank you out of the bottom of our hearts for listening to our content. New Zealand, in a period of 10 years, okay, 10 years, had an 88% winning record. 88%.
mm,
That's, it's almost impossible to ever replicate it. of any team anywhere in the world. 88% over a decade.
Yeah.
Who's the fly? The what do you call it? The scrum off. Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith. I'm not sure about his stats at the moment, but when I read it last year, I think he only lost 5 or 7 games ever in the All Blacks jersey.
Wow.
It was something. It wasn't even like 20. It was 10 or 12 or 9. It was. You just can't
Mm.
imagine it. Okay, so the All Blacks, yeah, that's the question of the day. Was the aura ever gone? Was the culture ever broken? You can tweet us at Rugby 4 Days on Twitter, of course, and then on Facebook, Instagram, all those social media platforms. But let's get back into it. So the second game, New Zealand came back and not thrashed, but comfortably won the game 27-7.
Mm.
And it was in that game where Caleb Clark was just a phenomenal beast, phenomenal player,
Yeah.
played amazing. So let's quickly give him credit where credit is due. What do you think about that game? Anything that stood out for you, or was it just Caleb Clark's brilliance in the running space of the game?
I think for me, New Zealand just clicked as a team again. I think after the draw, they had the mentality that we need to show them again who's boss, if I can say it like that. Um,
Yes.
yeah, Caleb Clark was phenomenal. Um, Again, they compared him to the next or as the next Jonah Lomu, and I said in the previous episodes that I don't like people when they compare them to great players, um, because you look at Julian Surveyor, they also compared him to the next Jonah Lomu, and he didn't feature. So, yeah, but awesome player. I think the team as a whole just played better. They played as one team again, and yeah, not much I can say about the second game, um, but yeah, just for me the better performance from New Zealand as a team. I think Australia, I don't know what's going on there. For me, it feels sometimes that they play for the individual and not for the team, but that's just my
Absolutely.
opinion. But yeah, something needs to be done. But New Zealand was for sure the better team on the second game.
I agree with you completely. I think with Caleb, let's just quickly go to Caleb and
Mm,
how he as a player is, okay, and how he's been playing. So Caleb Clark is 1.89 meters, 107 kgs, 21 years old. I mean, that's crazy. Okay.
yeah,
Um, let's just quickly take the stats of Jonah Lomu, because I just want to quickly, in comparison, just show them. I don't want to compare them because Jonah Lomu played a different type,
yeah,
but
yeah,
just pure stats. So Jonah Lomu was 1.96, which was that's quite tall for a wing. One point nine
yeah.
six
That's
meters.
massive.
That that's almost a lock in normal
Yeah,
in modern day South Africa. Now, I'm just kidding, because Eben and those players. But anyway, 1.96. That's quite tall. 119 kgs. That is big. I
that
can.
is lock weight.
That is, yeah. That's as tall as a lock and as big as a prop, but as fast as
Yeah,
a wing. Um,
yeah.
so Caleb Clark has been playing phenomenal, and I think they did not expect him to play that well, but he literally smashed Australia in the second game. So well done to him.
Mm,
Kudos. He played phenomenal, and I'm so excited to see how he's going to play in the next couple of years. Of course, he's playing for my New Zealand team, the Blues, which I just love. Love him playing there, and outside centre Rico Ioane, which did not play very well in the second game, may I might add, because he did one mistake where every coach, every dad, every ex-player will always tell you, put the ball down with two hands. Boom.
two
You
hands.
know, two hands,
Ego.
not just one. But again, there was a mistake, and I think he did get a mouthful from the coach, because that was just something unfortunate. But again, a very well player. I think he's been playing very well at outside center. I would like to see him more at outside
Mm,
center. personally. That's a
Yeah.
personal opinion. Um, but then moving on to the third game, and basically the game that Australia needed to beat the All Blacks with, I think, more than 20 points to make it even in contention of the Bledisloe Cup to basically win it for the first time in 18 years, or to retain it for the first time in 18 years. But that wasn't the idea of the All Blacks. The All Blacks came out and literally thrashed the Wallabies 43-5. Okay, 43-5. And there's one player that I need to just quickly like give a minute or two. Just I need to respect him. I need to tell him. I don't know if he's going to listen to this episode, but I just need to explain that this player has surprised me probably 10 times this year. In this year, he's probably surprised me 10 times, and that is Richie Mo'unga. I didn't favor him as a great player once he started playing, once he made his international debut. I thought, come on, Bowden is the best. He's the best. We don't want the rest. But anyway, um, and yet again, he was phenomenal in this year's Aotearoa competition for the Crusaders. He was phenomenal in the last game of the Bledisloe Cup, which subsequently, I think, was the 31st of October, which was yesterday of the time of recording. He he literally from fly off to a fly off point of view, he was 100-10 for the Australian fly off. I think it's I'm just quickly gonna get his name. I don't want to butcher his name, but while I'm
No,
getting his
Noah
name,
Lolesio.
Lolesio. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Noah.
Noah. That's an easy name. Noah. So he he wasn't okay. That was his first try yesterday as well for the Wallabies. Well done to him. But I mean, come on. Richie Mo'unga literally burnt you in front of you, beside you, and he got a try. Like he got the ball, he ran directly, literally around you, and you couldn't even touch him. That's I'm sorry to say this, but if Andre Pollard was in that situation, I think Richie would still get a try, but Andre would
Mm.
get some skin. Definitely. Come on. That shouldn't happen. And I think just
It shouldn't happen at this level.
it shouldn't happen at this level. Correct. It shouldn't happen at this level. But to applaud Richie once again, he's been playing phenomenal. I think every time I see him, he just gets better. And I just want to say that because I think the way that Richie and Bowden played yesterday was the way that Hansen thought they would play last year. And that unfortunately didn't happen. But because they know each other better and they've been playing in this position, I mean, they literally slot Bowden and Richie anytime in the 10 position. And
Yeah.
that's phenomenal. Both can kick, both is fast, both can step, both isn't the greatest at tackling. I need to just point that out defensive wise, but that's still not a problem because they make up with that in bucket load. So that's really not a problem. But your thoughts about the last game of the Bledisloe Cup where New Zealand beat Australia 43-5?
I think New Zealand was just on a different level. Um, I watched the game and I was just like, wow, it's like the way they played is getting back to that dominant New Zealand team. That you think, who can beat this team? There's a lot of young players, so the future of the New Zealand team is I wouldn't say secured, but it's going to be awesome for New Zealand. Um, but having said that, I think Australia talked about their strategy with Caleb Clark and all that to kick to him, and then you have three guys trying to tackle one player, and he just offloads to Mo'unga, who runs in for the try. So I think their strategy was just not there for the Australian team, but the skill the New Zealand players shown, everybody played better in that game for me. you have that one try from Ricky Iwane where it was a scrum and Oscar Institute just picked up the ball, ran around the scrum, pop pass, and Rico was there in for the try. I mean,
Yes.
that communication, all that stuff was just at a top level. And I think that's why they won by such a big margin. They were just completely the better team. One guy that stood out for me from the Australian side was Nick White. I don't like him personally, but I think he was a good scrum half in that game. Um,
Yes.
but the and also Cora Betty and he was also good. But you can't I can't fault one New Zealand player in that game personally. So they were just a better team and they deserved the big victory. Just awesome to watch that game.
I completely agree with you. So, just the one thing that I do want to mention, and I would like to get your opinion about this, and this will be then the second question of the day,
Mm.
because this is a controversial one. So, the one where Geordie got a yellow card, okay? Just for those who couldn't remember, it was on the right hand touch side. Geordie got it was, I think it was a kick, and somebody recouped the ball, passed to Geordie Barrett, ran, and I'm not sure it was the outside centre of Australia who got the tackle in. Somebody got the tackle in, but he lifted his
Yeah, it was Dane
elbow.
Haylett Petty.
It was a fullback, Alec Petty. So
Yeah.
he lifted his elbow. I wouldn't say he did it, you know, just to hit the guy in the face. But unfortunately, his elbow got up to a point where he hit literally Haylett Petty in the face. Okay. And the ref
Yeah.
completely, of course, said no, dangerous play, yellow card. The one problem that I
Mm.
do have with that, okay, is not that the fact that Geordie was on the wrong side of the law. That's not what I have. But just after that, Nick White, like the scrum of it is, I'm not taking
Yeah.
away his skill, came in
Mm.
and literally hit Geordie Barrett to the floor and started like pushing
Yeah.
him on the floor. And I thought by
Yeah,
myself,
he
like,
came out of nowhere.
exactly. And I thought to myself, like, what is going on? You literally just said dangerous play against Geordie Barrett, yellow card, but you don't turn around and say to Nick White, listen here, this penalty is going to be overruled because you came after the fact and stirred up, and you can't.
Yeah.
He was wrong. He's going to be penalized, but because of your arrogance, it's turned around again. I think
Yeah.
that's such a double standard because yes, the person got a yellow card. Awesome. That's been
Mm.
dealt with. Geordie was wrong. Point. Done. Okay, yellow card. Nick, why did you come in and hit him to the floor and started just like I'm not going to say like keep hitting him, but pushing him and like shoving his face, in his face or in his arms the whole time. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? You should be penalized as well. Not a yellow card, but you should be penalized in a
Absolutely.
form as well, or get a warning. Get like, listen, you just caused a team warning. So the next person who's gonna suffer is gonna go to the bin. And I
Yeah, I
think
mean
that,
nobody
yeah. Sorry,
nobody
yes,
can
go.
come in from the side after a tackle and just push the guy to the ground and hold his neck or touch him in the face. I mean, if he punches him in the face, that's also a yellow card, maybe a red card. So
Yes,
they
offense.
must just keep their cool. Just remember, wow, he is gonna get penalized for that. If I do something wrong, I will get penalized, maybe sent off also. So
Yes.
I don't I don't understand why he came in like that. It was just super unnecessary, and I
Yes.
think the ref also needed to look at that.
Completely agree with you, Jock. That was unnecessary. So that's my second question of the day. If you'd like to answer that, please uh, jump onto Twitter, answer us at Rugby for Days. You can tweet us there. Of course, you can Instagram DM us as well, or TikTok, or Facebook, or anywhere else. That is all from my side. I'm gonna leave Jock with the last words for this episode. But overall, well done to New Zealand, showing us all once again that their culture, their aura has never been lost. They've been playing phenomenal rugby this whole year from Aotearoa till now. They've been playing very well, And I think honestly, that's why we didn't even get into to Argentina or Australia, because it's basically just them against each other. Hopefully, Australia can beat Argentina comfortably. I'll give that to you in the last words as well, Jock, to just to get your point over as well. But it's gonna basically be against Australia and Argentina, and hopefully, like I said, Australia can beat them comfortably. Maybe Argentina is gonna take them out of that and get a W over Australia. But there's no doubt in my mind that it's gonna be comfortable for New Zealand against these two teams. Not one is
Yeah,
stacking up to them. Not one is going to beat them comfortably. If they beat them, it would be a miraculous turn of events, because New Zealand, I'm not even. The next game that's going to be played is again Australia against New Zealand, and that is the. Damn it! I had the fixtures here in front of me. Sorry, the seventh of November. So basically next week, and I won't I won't be shocked if New Zealand beats Australia next week more than 50. I won't say
mm,
Australia doesn't get a try. I think it's just going to be more than 50 points on the scoreboard for uh, for New Zealand. So that's basically all I have to say. Well done to New Zealand retaining the Bledisloe Cup for 18 years in a row. Well done to them. Well done to the way that they played. Well done to Caleb and Richie. I think it's going to be exciting to see them play in the same squad, hopefully in the next couple of years as well. And then just my bold prediction, well done for winning the Rugby Championship / Tri Nations, because there's not one stacking up to you. And I'm just glad that South Africa isn't in the competition, because honestly, we wouldn't match up to them as well. We would suffer
no.
completely. So basically, it would just be like always, three teams battling out and New Zealand winning at the end. But anyway, Jock, you can have the final words and then sign us off.
Yeah, so if we just look at Argentina, I mean, as far as I know, they haven't got that much game time. So, and they were in isolation for 2 weeks because of the COVID effect. Um, so it's a worrying sight for me, um, because Argentina is in there, but they haven't got that much game time. It's for me, it's difficult to to compromise, to compromise and get into my head why they are in the Tri Nations. For me personally, I would have just done the Bledisloe Cup and um, scrapped the Rugby Championship this year. But I know Argentina is still in contract with the Rugby Championship and all that. So it's the only thing that I can see Australia winning is the games against Argentina. Um, Hope maybe Argentina comes back with a bang and beat Australia, but I don't know. I don't know how they will do that. So for me, why is Argentina there at the moment? Just scrap that. But yeah, well done to the New Zealand teams, or the New Zealand team. They are just in a league of their own at the moment. I If they beat Australia like this, I don't know what it would be like against Argentina. And I agree with you, Stefan. The last game that's coming this weekend, I'm also seeing a huge score from New Zealand. I mean, it's it's a couple of games that they play with each other now, so there's more team spirit and all that stuff. So it will just be. I think it's going to be a whitewash. I think it's going to be like I think it was 57-0 against South Africa. I think it's going to be like that, and I just think Australia has not got a chance in this competition this year. So yeah, so for all of your viewers, or of all of the listeners, thank you for listening to the podcast. Hit us up on social media, leave a comment wherever you are listening this from. Go to our YouTube channel, have a chat over there, and please visit our blog on our website. It's rugby4days.com. And yeah, just we would just like to interact with you with our fans. So thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next episode.